It's time now for a look at the papers with Elitsa Gedeva. Elitsa, the ongoing search efforts in Venezuela are making headlines. What have you found?
That's right, Caris. Well, let's start by taking a look at a Spanish newspaper El País here. And the headline reads, Venezuela is saving itself with its own hands. The article says that the search operations are, quote, lacking resources, but authorities there say that they're recovering up to 20 bodies per hour. Then moving on to French paper Libération that spoke to some survivors who denounced the negligence of their government. They say that the country was, quote, already in ruins even before the earthquakes. And then Venezuelan opposition leader Julio Berges Junyent wrote an opinion piece here for a Spanish newspaper El Mundo, and he says that the earthquake didn't cause Venezuela's destruction but simply made it visible. And for him, the country's dictatorship has been inflicting greater pain on the nation's soul for nearly 30 years now. And that's a message echoed also here in a Venezuelan opposition newspaper El Nacional. And the headline reads, Venezuela without leadership. And the paper says that the country is faced with a government that's illegitimate and incompetent, but praises the courage of the citizens who are now facing mountains of rubble alone.
All right, we're going to Japan next, where a mayor's maternity leave has stirred debate.
Yeah, her name is Shoko Kawata, and she's the first mayor to take maternity leave in Japan's history. That's what the New York Times here reports. And she's the mayor of Iwata in western Japan. And when she announced that she will take some time off after giving birth to her child, people were completely polarized. Some, of course, celebrated her decision, sending her gifts and saying that it's a very brave move, but Japan's patriarchal society means that many men responded with anger. They called her irresponsible and accused her of placing her personal life above her constituency. And the story has sparked a national debate about the difficulties working women in Japan still have to face. And in Japan, there's even a special word for maternity harassment, which is matahara. And speaking about discrimination, I want to show you this article here in the Japan Times that tells the story of LGBTQ families who are building invisible lives that are invisible to Japanese lawmakers. And the paper interviewed a lesbian couple, and it spoke with the mother, who is not the biological mother of the child, and she says it's very, very complicated, for example, bringing her child to the hospital because she's not allowed to sign any documents. And the paper reminds that Japanese law does not recognize same-sex marriages despite high public support for its recognition. And a survey released in May shows that 67% of those who responded support legalizing gay marriage.
All right, well, moving to Russia now, you found an article that analyzes President Vladimir Putin's behavior over the past several years.
Yeah, it's an analysis here in a French paper Le Monde, and it has the very catchy headline called Vladimir Putin or the solitude of homo sovieticus. So the paper says that Putin is juggling a couple of things: a denial of reality, a desire for revenge, and a carefully calculated messaging that he spreads through public media. And with all that, he is trying to position himself as, quote, the master of the game. But after more than 4 years of war in Ukraine, these old tricks inherited from the Soviet past are showing their limitations, says Le Monde, and the Kremlin's strongman is losing his credibility. And Le Monde explains why and how Putin is now trapped in his own information bubble, and you can read the article to find out more.
All right, and finally, a new horror movie, Obsession, is a surprise blockbuster. It's also resonating suspiciously well with some.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal writes that couples are creeped out by a hit horror movie they find a little too relatable. So just to give you an idea, Obsession is a horror movie about a dangerously psychotic girlfriend, and without spoiling it too much, I can tell you that her behavior escalates from asking for a bit more time with her boyfriend to cooking his cat. And instead of scaring people, some girls online are saying that it's quite relatable. Like this girl here on TikTok who says, me side-eyeing my boyfriend during Obsession every time she does something I've actually done. And the film was directed by 26-year-old Curry Barker, and it's a small $750,000 production that made over $220 million in the United States since its opening. And I guess it's because it's very, very relatable. Many girls are thinking this film was supposed to scare me, not expose me. But here we are.
All right, well, we've got our warning. We know those who are actually voicing out that that's resonating with them. We know who you are. Thank you very much, Alitza Gedeva, for that look at the press